Do you meditate with game mechanics in your mind? Because your job and hobbies are all games.
Meditation is just the loading screen of life.
Yeah,
you're
getting tool tips in your meditation.
If you're getting anxious, it just means that you didn't give life enough time to load all of the assets that you need.
I feel like there's some really cheesy like meditation for 5-year-olds curriculum in here where we just frame like mindfulness and like mind-body awareness in terms of like Fortnite and other video games so kids can understand them better. You could write that curriculum, Dwight. That's actually not a bad idea.
Okay, I know we're not fixing this, but how could we give the Calm app a battle royale mode?
What if Madden Football had a dating simulator? What if Call of Duty had a taxes calculator? What if Sonic had arthritis and he couldn't run? What if Waluigi had a gun? New features, new graphics. Another instant classic. Remastered, revised, quadrupled in size, robustly monetized, now it's critically acclaimed.
Hello and welcome to Hey We Fixed Your Game.
And greetings from Fixco, the world's largest gaming conglomerate.
This is a show where we, on behalf of Fixco, acquire beloved gaming IPs and reimagine them with bold new ideas.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Dwight, and you're Plorm. Hi, Plorm.
Hi, Plorm.
Plorm, we missed you.
We established that last episode.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to listen. Actually, we established that in all previous episodes of Hey We Fixed Your Game. So go listen to all previous Hey We Fixed Your Game episodes prior to listening to this one.
Actually, Plorm's parents established Plorm's name when Plorm was born. So
when Plorm was born.
Anyways, Caleb, we really got to keep it down in here. I'm worried the night janitors might hear us.
Oh, no, the night janitors. I you know what? I've heard terrible rumors about the night janitors.
Well, they're different up here in the executive wing than they were down a couple floors where we used to be. Should we explain to the audience how we made our way up here?
Yes, yeah. Well, so I rescued Dwight from the crypt.
That is true. I was stuck in the crypt.
The warehouse cavern crypt. Yeah.
Caleb dangled a series of dirty old t-shirts through the AC vents until finally it reached me. And then he pulled me up.
From there, we got lost again. En route to rescuing him from the crypt, we got lost again, finding our way back to our offices and wandered our way into the executive suite.
Though, Caleb, I'm kind of thinking at this point, I'm not sure if I want to leave the beautiful, bountiful landscape that is the executive suite. It is different.
It's really nice up here. I mean, like, the cushions have upholstery on them, and, like, the computers are flat instead of cubed, which is kind of cool.
We're just kind of living off the fat of the land in the executive suite here.
I mean, we can only really live on the fat of the land in between the hours of 5 p.m. and 9 a.m.
Yeah, and we can really only live off the fat of finding granola bars in people's desks.
Yeah. Half-eaten jars of trail mix and granola bars, and
But windows are nice. I do like seeing the outside world.
Yes. Yeah.
Not sunlight, to be clear, because we have to hide during the day.
And the janitors actually have like genetic augmentations to make them way scarier and more effective at cleaning. They're like mutants from Fallout. They're like, it's crazy.
Yeah. The janitors have more limbs than we would care to describe.
Yeah. And more mops than I would care to elaborate on.
Yeah. The thing is, they figure if the security is going to take somebody out, then they should also clean up the mess at the same go.
Yep, it's extremely efficient in what we've come to expect from Fixco. But yeah, we're podcasting from the executive suite today.
Yeah, because we finally ate. And what's that? Did you hear that?
Oh, did they find us?
No, I think that the Microsoft Surface that we snatched off of somebody's desk just gave us a ping.
Oh shit! That probably means they know where we are. I hope
No,
not.
Caleb, I use NordVPN. Nobody has any fucking idea where I am.
Oh, you're a blank slate. You're a digital blank slate. No one can find you.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
untraceable.
This episode was not brought to you by NordVPN.
What does it say, Dwight? What does it say?
Hello, Fixco boys. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful office that you have downstairs.
Oh, they still think we're down there. Oh,
I assure you there are no better offices in the building. You have executive treatment down there. I'm starting to think that Boss might be lying to us about this one, Caleb.
Boss might not have your best interests in mind, Dwight. I'm not going to lie.
We have acquired the IP of the entire Yakuza series.
Oh my god, the whole thing?
We're going to start remaking them, and we're starting with Yakuza Like a Dragon, the 7th installment. Boys, do your thing like you always do, winky face emoji, Boss. My heart melts. My heart just melts.
Like snow, I melt at your touch, Boss.
I've been swinging by Boss's desk every night and looking at pictures of his family. If I could only be one of them. So, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah. Are you familiar with this game?
I am. I have been playing this game for the past couple of weeks when I can find the time. I'm about halfway through it. Let's dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive in.
So, Caleb, let me just catch you up to speed on Yakuza in general.
First of all, Yakuza means mafia, right? It's the Japanese mafia.
It means it's Japanese mafia. Yep. It's like the American mafia, but in Japan, and very different.
Is it how similar is it to the Italian mafia?
Oh, it's like the Italian mafia in America, but in Japan, but very different, is what I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Word.
The Yakuza series has been running for a long time.
Yeah.
I think Sega's been the main publisher on all of these. And the general thesis statement behind the Yakuza games is let's tell like kind of a gritty by the numbers crime story about all of these mafiosos, but turn everything up to 11 and have the wackiest, silliest, most childlike, bizarre side content imaginable.
Oh man, that's awesome. That sounds like a blast.
Yes, and Caleb, I think you would be glad to know that the vast majority of the installments in this series are not turn-based RPGs. They are action RPGs that just have free-flowing combat, where you famously can pick up bicycles and just like smash dudes across the head with them.
But the 7th installment in the series is a big departure from that style of combat and turns it into a turn-based game, right?
It is, yeah.
Correct?
Yakuza Like a Dragon kind of, I think, was meant to be an entering point for people who are unfamiliar with the series. Brought in a new protagonist is probably the biggest change. So,
whoa, really? Like fully new? Like doesn't show up at all?
So Kiryu, who's been the protagonist in the previous games, I have yet to see him in this game. I don't think he's in this game at all. The new protagonist is Kasuga Ichiban. And let me just tell you, Ichiban is the best character in fiction, full stop.
Holy shit, that's a big statement.
And that's not just me, that's science.
You can scientifically deduce?
Reuters ran a study, and turns out Ichiban is the best character in fiction.
Oh man, did you do like an A/B test group? Did you apply the scientific method here?
No, we just kind of scienced it up. And turns out
you just did some science on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Me and Reuters. But Ichiban is really like if you took a golden retriever and all of its joy in being alive and empathy for people and desire for what's best in the world and gave it like a rockin' bod of a real beefcake type dude. Gave him like above average skills in literally everything, like insane aptitude, and then threw him in jail for like 15 years. And then brought him out when he's 40. And that's Kasuga Ichiban.
Holy shit, that sounds awesome.
Or Ichiban Kasuga. I can never tell in Japanese which one's supposed to come first, first name or last. And I know this isn't funny, but it is just something I appreciate about it. It is a game that's pretty much exclusively about empathy. It's about the people in society who are misunderstood and left behind. And Ichiban is the embodiment of caring about those people and caring about them seeing justice. One of the first big missions you take on is trying to help out old people who are being basically cheated by an old folks home.
Oh.
And you are like constantly taking on holier than thous and defending people who are like caught up in crime, in mafias or otherwise, and trying to defend the little guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Ichiban's obsessed with Dragon Quest. He played it all growing up, and his guiding star in life is to become a hero, like in Dragon Quest. So,
oh, that's adorable.
I have to say I've gushed for too long about Ichiban, and that's because I am in love romantically with Ichiban.
Yeah,
and that brings me to my first fix, which is I want a 3D printable Ichiban that I can just take into my life with me. Yeah.
Okay.
He can't be made of plastic, though. He needs to be like a real human that I can just birth into my life and make be my best friend.
Did you watch that movie or heard of that movie Mickey 17 that came out, the new Bong Joon-ho movie that came out like this weekend?
I have not seen it yet, but I would like to see it. Yeah, Mickey 17.
Yeah, I watched it. I didn't like it very much, but this isn't a movie podcast. This is a game podcast. But that's basically what they do with Robert Pattinson is they print him out like a bunch of times. So you just need to get that. Yeah.
I don't need 17 Robert Pattinsons. I need just one Ichiban.
Just one. You could have 17 Robert Pattinsons.
Why go to 17 Robert Pattinsons when you can go to just one Ichiban? The other thing is he absolutely beats the shit out of everybody. He is just going, like, if there's a fight anywhere, it will find him, and he's gonna, like, kick some ass.
He's got a bat, right? That's his signature weapon.
He's got a bat like covered in barbed wire. He is
terrifying.
Not joking. Yeah, he is definitely unafraid to pursue justice, and I would like him to pursue justice for me next time I'm in the DMV and I don't get what I want. I can just have my Ichiban take care of it for me. Yeah,
naturally. Yeah. So you're talking about slavery.
I would like an indentured Ichiban. I would like him to owe a debt to me, as if I was his mafia patriarch.
Oh, yes, I see. So in order for this to play out for you in the fantasy that you want, he would have to owe you a debt there, like, and as a result of that, you would have to be in the Yakuza.
Well, I think we just plant some memories in our 3D printed Ichiban.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want.
Oh, and by the way, Dwight saved your life. Like, I could be like, Ichiban, I need to cook dinner, but I'm so slow at cutting onions. And he'd be like, don't worry, Dwight, I got you. And he'd probably, like, cut them super fast for me, you know?
But Dwight, don't you think that that's just simply by committing the ethical atrocity of printing memories into a meat puppet of Ichiban, wouldn't that be a ripe plot point for Yakuza Like a Dragon side quest in which he beats the fucking shit out of you?
Yeah, I do think there could be some karmic waves coming back at me for this one, but I would say it's certainly worth the risk, 100%. To live one day in the sun.
Yeah, you would take 100 days in the dark. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The next Yakuza game has someone who, you know, you run across a guy who played Yakuza Like a Dragon and fell in love with it and decided to print a bunch of meat puppets of Ichiban. And as Ichiban, you have to kick the shit out of 50 other Ichibans that are printed from this guy's printer. Like, this is not outside the realm of possibility for Yakuza.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're in the executive suite, we might be able to do something about that. Like,
yeah, I did see a human printer, a human cloning chamber appear in the executive suite. Yeah. It's right next to the fax machine.
Do they look similar?
Well, it did say it was out of toner.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it only prints white people?
Untoned white people with, like, really flabby muscles, you know?
Oh.
So, Caleb, one obvious fix is we just need a real life Ichiban here for all of us. Yeah. I think another fix that would be really fun is Ichiban has an overactive imagination, and what that means is in the game, whenever you get in fights with people in the street, you imagine them going through a transformation and turning into, like, crazy enemies. They're always humans, but they, like, get exaggerated proportions. So you might see a chef who's walking around in a chef's hat, but when you go to fight him, then suddenly he, like, has this huge evil mustache and, like, gets super huge.
Oh,
and
interesting.
He, like, has red eyes and he comes after you. So
Whoa.
it's explained in the game that Ichiban has an overactive imagination and maybe is slightly delusional. And he just sees all of this in his brain because he imagines his life as a Dragon Quest RPG.
Right, naturally. That's such a funny scenario for a game.
It's great. I think it would be great if, to help me reduce my levels of obsession with Ichiban, we could turn off delusion mode, and I could see a version of the game that literally is just Ichiban walking across the street. A chef passes by, Ichiban says, "Oh no, a monster! You're going down!" And then just starts beating the shit out of random helpless people in the street. Because that is undoubtedly what's happening.
Turning off delusion mode doesn't make him look less good doing the thing.
It is true. You're just a normal chef. Ichiban comes and beats the shit out of you. He stands up and he's like, "Awesome! Monster defeated!" And you still can't help but say, like, "So, like, do you want to hang out later?"
I can cook for you. I've got a killer carbonara.
And that's another good fix for this game. There's a couple of love interests in the game that you can pursue. I think everybody is a potential love interest for Ichiban.
For real?
There's nobody in the world who could resist that charm. I'm going to say on the record.
Okay, all right.
And instead of you pursuing, you should be having to defend yourself from the violent love of others.
Oh, I'm surprised that's not already a thing.
Instead of just fighting off enemies in turn-based physical battles, I would like social battles where people come confess their love to me and I have to let them down easy without losing any of my empathy for my fellow man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You still have to defend your honor in letting down beautiful women who come to you. Or men, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, beautiful non-binary people come. They want a piece of you. And you've got to like handle that in a situation in a way that doesn't break their heart, basically.
Yeah, that preserves your honor and keeps you in the heroic role that you've established yourself as. That's funny.
That would be a really funny Hallmark movie. Young single in the city has to like kung fu off all of the like eligible partners that are just...
That's not a Hallmark movie. That's an A24 movie. I got a fix for you, Dwight. I got a outside the box fix for you.
Let's hear it.
The one thing I know about Yakuza is that it's well known for the central storyline is always very serious.
Yes, gravely serious.
But literally deviate from that main through line 1 or 2 degrees and you are in crazy land, insano world.
You are literally playing Mario Kart, no joke.
My question is, and this is something based on the reviews that I've read, is that it is a cutscene laden game.
Yes.
And I genuinely want to know your answer to this. It seems like to me a way to open Yakuza up is just to do a Mario Party style game in the Yakuza world where there is no longer like a plot. It's just the side quests.
Yeah. You should be able to toggle whether you want plot. And then you could still go do all of the like combat. All of the like cutscenes could just be kind of like a really dismissive hand wavy Ichiban saying like, "Then some guys said some things and I needed to beat them up." And like,
like an in-universe, I don't give a shit explanation for what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, let's make soap.
Pretty much.
You're not the only person in your party, right? This is a JRPG. You have multiple party members.
Yes, you do have party members. That is correct. And they're great too. How
do you recruit them and who are they and what do they do?
So far, I've only ever picked up 4 other party members. And they have all been through the main plot line. I'm sure there are others. I don't know where I'm going to get them from, to be honest, because there's a ton of side content that I have not yet seen in this game.
Right. See, I was imagining when you were describing, and this is a fix, by the way, I was imagining, if it's not this, you kind of running around Japan, Tokyo specifically, collecting disenfranchised elders and also like weirdos off the street and just like strange eclectic people with your empathy points and being like, "Huh, you work for me now."
You're going to love this. My party members... 1 homeless man.
Yeah.
1 near retired driver's ed instructor. 1 girl who works at a hostess club, like practically a sex worker. And then a normal businesswoman.
Just a normal businesswoman.
Yeah, pretty much just a normal, young,
Okay.
charismatic businesswoman.
I take it all back. You can't remove the plot line of the Yakuza games because if you remove the serious plot line, everything else is substantially less funny.
I really think
that
is the case, yes. And I know this is not a fix, and we're just discussing the game, and, we're letting down our fans severely.
We're letting down Plorm.
Plorm, hold on, we'll get to that. But the straight man was Kiryu. Mm-hmm. For like the first 6 installments and all of the spin-offs. Kiryu is an extremely straight man character, rarely showing any emotion, always being angry and normal and intense. And it made it so freaking funny when he would go do karaoke, because suddenly he would be like pouring out his heart and crying on the mic on like the most sentimental song of all time, or when he would go like to like the boxcar racing place. So I think they did a really bold thing in switching out their straight-laced, very serious protagonist for a really wacky, joyful, colorful protagonist. Yeah, but they still did a good job of, they didn't try to make Ichiban the source of the humor in this game. Instead, it feels like he is a conduit of the humor. He kind of is yes-anding all of the weird situations he's in.
Oh, he's an improviser.
A little bit. Like, he's never going to be like, that sure was weird that those huge men were in baby costumes and their kink is being treated like babies. How weird is that? Instead, he's going to be in the room with all the babies and they're going to be like, thanks for helping us understand, man. Here, have some milk. And he'll be like, I don't know. And they'll be like, seriously, have some milk. And he'll be like, okay, I'll try it. That's pretty good.
That is equally funny in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not ironic humor. It is empathy humor.
Yeah. He is still a pretty normal dude. He's not cracking jokes. He is not the source of the humor, but he does have a way of bringing every situation up to 11. Let's hop into more fixes.
More fixes, Dwight. Plorm is starving for jokes. Please give Plorm a laugh.
Plorm, I've got just the fix for you. There's all sorts of mini games in this game. How about we add some more?
Yep.
I want to put Ichiban in all sorts of crazy situations. First things first, a stealth game where you're smuggling innocent convicts out of prison.
That's like not already in the game?
It's not in the game, but it does sound like it would fit, doesn't it?
That would be a funny little minigame mode where instead of going back to rescue your friends from prison, you take over the prison with your friends, and now you run a prison.
You run a for-profit prison.
Yeah. And you flip the script on the for-profit prison and start locking up the people who are abusing the elders at the elders' home and various other like white-collar criminals in Tokyo.
How about Ichiban takes over the police department and starts actually taking down the people who are making the world worse?
Yeah.
He says, to hell with the books. Let's get all of these corrupt politicians and businessmen.
And then you can wield your prisoners like expendable Pokemon in fights. Like you could just throw them in front of things.
Like weapons. So now instead of a bat, you just have a guy. When you're knocking people around, it's just this dude in pencil pose. And he's just like a real small guy who was real thankful you broke him out of prison. He's like, how can I repay you? Let me be your blunt weapon.
That would be so funny. Honestly, imagine Borderlands, but instead of like a gun collecting game, it's a guy collecting game where like different guys are different grenades and like weapons.
They're all basically like the type of like really cheap 3D model human that you always find in like hotel manager simulator type games.
Yeah, and they've all got like jobs and families.
Sometimes you're like, where's my gun? Oh, right. It's 9 a.m. My gun had to take the bus.
Yeah, she's got a very, very important managerial position at a bookstore downtown. She can't be shooting for me right now.
It's like in BioShock when you can like go up to the little sister and you can like choose whether or not you want to harvest them for their atom.
Harvester help.
But instead, if like your option is just to like kidnap some dude and throw him at some other guy, like have like a collection of humans in your backpack.
Someone comes groveling up to Ichiban, please, I'll do anything, and you have the option of
collect guy.
Protect or use as nunchucks with other guy.
You tie their hair together.
Yeah.
Their ponytails. Oh my gosh. Yep. Well, the funny thing is you do collect guys in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Yeah, so we're already halfway there.
That's the sequel to this game where you collect creepy dudes and a Pokemon minigame.
That's hilarious.
You just fight perverts. In the next game, you can collect your perverts and make them fight other perverts.
This franchise is fucking fucked up.
See, I'm making you laugh. I didn't make a joke. That's in the game.
That's what the game is.
We can't goof on this game. All we can do is fall deeply in love with Ichiban Kasuga. It's the only option. I'd love to see Ichiban on The Bachelorette.
Really any dating show like Love Island.
Yes. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Because he would do so well because he's insanely sexy, but also is super duper nice and has like a straightforwardness and sincerity that would no doubt undermine all the other dudes on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
these guys are like two timing.
He would probably end up shipping some other dude with the girl would be the thing. She'd like go on a date and he'd be like, I was talking with Daniel last night and Daniel seems like a really nice guy. I think you'd be a good match with him.
Daniel's crying on his bunk. Dude, I don't know, fucking, she's beautiful, man. I've just never felt a love like hers. And he's like, brother, go get her. Achieve your dream.
Exactly.
She will love you back.
That would be his thing. Yeah. He would be the last one there, despite constantly trying to set up the girl with other dudes.
Meanwhile, all the girls really only want him. He's just extremely persuasive. And they're like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll go on a couple of dates with him.
At every rose ceremony, as one of the other guys starts to cry, he tries to hand them his rose every time. Yeah. The producers have to come in. Be like, no, Ichiban, that's yours. You can't give that.
Oh, and this leads to an elaborate fight scene where he battles the entire camera crew for the right to like represent these women honestly.
Yeah, to give his best friend the final rose in the final episode. You have to fight all of the producers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
How about this, Caleb? Ichiban, in the sequel to Like a Dragon, leaves Tokyo and goes to Hawaii. So, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth takes place in Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah. And Ryu Gagotoku, the Japanese studio that makes these games, are famous for being able to put tons of content into these games because they can reuse the content from the previous games. They're not super worried about like photorealism. So they can continue to like build on their maps. So
that's cool.
I believe in Infinite Wealth, you can go to between Tokyo and Hawaii at a certain point in that game.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken. How about the next game? Let's just keep on adding cities from across the world.
Yeah. Sorry.
So,
did you want to have an original idea? Now you have to do what Pokemon does and put all of your previous titles into your new titles somehow. Sorry,
yes,
Ryu
exactly.
Gagotoku.
So the next one that's quite obvious is, of course, Vegas has got to be next.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I'm surprised they haven't done
that. It would honestly probably be like the most fun imaginable would be Ichiban in Vegas. All of the gambling minigames.
Trying to talk to a bunch of Americans. Like whenever an American walks up to him, very good. Yes.
I'm sure there's some of that in Hawaii.
You're probably
Infinite
right.
Wealth.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's this is a tangent, but there's a school you can go to in this game. And the way you get introduced to the school is an American walks up to you on the street and says, "Excuse me, do you know the directions on how to get to the train station?" And Ichiban's like, how do you say it in English? Sorry. And then another dude like sprints up and says, Go down the street, take a left, follow your dreams, go. And just starts screaming in English at this man. It's so funny. And the guy's, Ichiban's like, how did you learn to speak English so well? And the guy's like, I go to this school around the corner. Come check it out.
That's funny.
It's the best. It's one of the greatest cutscenes. Back to my list of places around the world. Where do we go after Vegas? Dubai, of course.
Naturally. Yeah, you're beating up the royal family.
Ichiban's causing all sorts of a ruckus in Dubai. I'm sure they've got to have some sort of mafia in Dubai, and Ichiban's probably going to take it down.
Yep. In all likelihood. Yeah, I think next Winnipeg, obviously.
Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Rural Winnipeg. Just...
Yep. He'll find a way. He'll find a way to make it interesting.
There's exactly one criminal in Winnipeg, and we're going to find him and put him to justice. Though I bet you Ichiban would thrive on a farm. Some sort of like, far up north cattle situation.
Yes.
Ichiban would be so gentle with the animals and so hardworking. And he would go out for drinks after work and be such a good buddy to all the other farmhands,
It's called Yakuza Like a Tractor. And it's all about how he can't afford any farming equipment, so he has to do everything by hand. And he's like, "Oh, that's so good."
He's just like punching the ground to till it.
Yeah. He recruits his buddies from town, from like the ag hall, to be like, "Come on, brothers. I know it's been a rough season for everyone, but if we all come together."
I love this. Instead of crime families, it could be like 3 mega farms that are vying for control, and you're helping out like the last mom and pop farm.
Yeah, like a 30-person Amish settlement is like one of the 3 main factions that you can combat.
Yeah, and one of the side quests could be a nudist colony.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could just do a bunch of rural stuff. You could join like a knitting group. Mm-hmm. One of the minigames could be opening a vintage store in a quaint little downtown and selling rustic farmhouse furniture. Signs that say like, "I don't need a therapist, I have a sister," and like, "Don't talk to me until I've had my wine."
Nice, a barrel. Good, a wagon wheel.
Chip and Joanna Gaines. After this, I don't think we have any other places to send Ichiban except for space.
Yeah, he's got to go to space. Yeah.
I think that the main reason I want to send Ichiban to space is because Ichiban represents all that is good about humanity and none of what's bad about humanity.
So we'll be well represented to the aliens.
Because Ichiban, here's the thing, he's incapable of judging anybody for anything. So he could come across the grossest alien who's like, "Oh no, all of my goop jelly is on the floor. I need someone to scoop it up and then feed it to me from their own mouth." Ichiban would be like, "Okay, if that's what you need, I'll do it." And like bow to them, and then you'd have like a little drinking goop off the floor minigame.
God, that sounds like that's just such a great framing for a video game. Like really just a character who embodies you as a player just wanting to do shit. You know what I mean? Like his
Yes. There's no like irony. There's no insincerity. It's literally anything that you want to do, Ichiban wants to do.
That's fun. That's
He's
just
in.
Fun.
He's all in. Caleb, another thing that these games are famous for is putting other video games into the video game.
Yeah, I have heard that. I've heard that you could play a tremendous number of Sega's back catalog in this game.
Literal video games, but they also are known for sneakily copying other video games and pressing Control V into the Yakuza fire. So a good example is there's a kart racing minigame in this game.
Yep.
That I haven't actually found yet, but sounds very fun, and I'm sure it's one of the next places I will discover. There is a business simulation game, which isn't ripping off any particular business simulator, but it is an extremely robust and fun simulation game that has eaten up probably about half of my playtime so far.
Oh my god, wow.
It is unbelievably addicting. In Infinite Wealth, the sequel, they put in literally an entire Animal Crossing game called Dondoko Island. You basically have all of the mechanics and depth of an Animal Crossing game as you are assigned an island with a resort on it, and you're trying to clean up the trash and collect resources and
that's insane.
Enjoy
that's
island
crazy.
Life. They made an entire Animal Crossing game, and apparently it is like 40 hours worth of content.
Oh my gosh, that's more gameplay than I got out of the New Horizons game.
This is, I mean, I don't know what type of chronomancy they're doing at Ryuga Gotoku. But we can shoehorn a lot of things in here. So let's go crazy.
Yep.
First things first. let's put a 4X civilization game into Yakuza.
This goes back to your previous fix where we're going to different countries. We're not only going to different countries, we're colonizing them.
Oh, how about this? There's like a huge trash island in the middle of the ocean. It's being colonized by people. So Ichiban goes and you are basically creating your own colony and trying to take over Trash Island.
Oh, fuck, that's funny. Like the gigantic Pacific trash pile gets big enough that people want to claim it as territory for their country.
This is a really fun like concept for a 4X game that takes place on the Pacific Trash Island.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, that's funny. That's a great idea.
Have you played Fire Emblem Three Houses? I know you don't like turn-based games, so you probably don't like tactics games either.
You know what? I played Advance Wars and I didn't mind it.
That game is the shit. And the concept there is that you're a teacher who's teaching your kids battle tactics.
Awesome.
How about Ichiban ends up in some wacky situation where he becomes a high school gym teacher and he's in charge of the dodgeball team. And it's an incredibly deep simulation where you're teaching all of your dodgeball players how to like compete in tactics dodgeball.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Oh.
And then, you have all these things where you're going up against other schools and you run the games, but then outside you have to like build up social links with your students and recruit different students and train them.
Yeah. Like you could boost your students' stats by being a good support during their like trial-filled middle school years. Oh, that's so funny. What if Ichiban decides that violence is like he has a come to Jesus moment and he realizes that violence is no longer the answer, and he opens up a tea shop? So it's kind of like a potion craft simulator where you have to blend different teas
really good
to like pacify the Japanese businessman who's like on the brink of death.
Oh, I like this so much.
Or like, I'm a angry CEO. I'm gonna lay off all my employees. What's the perfect combination of tea that's going to solve this problem?
That's so good. You have to like kind of intuit from what they're saying, what their like issues are, and then you have to brew the correct mixture of teas. Yeah.
Their emotions will switch on a dime and you have to pivot entirely and you have to like throw in a crazy ingredient. And like on your off time, really you go collect ingredients.
Caleb, you're going to hate me, but they do have an ingredient growing system where you can pick up seeds and grow them and then craft them into meals. But there's no tea. They've
got it all. Okay, there's no tea.
They have it all. So I love the tea shop idea. You could just be kind of like pursuing your own Uncle Iroh fantasy. Because I think at this point I'm playing Yakuza so much, it's hard for me to play my other games, so it would really be helpful if I could play Balatro within Yakuza so we could get some Balatro time in.
Oh, that's another like really like useful application for Yakuza is just like you should just be able to import any game into Yakuza and play it via it's like a launcher for all your other games.
Instead of being in shitty real life and going to my shitty job, I could be in bright shiny Ryuga Gotoku fake life and go do the job mini game, which is super fun.
Let them do the Matrix. Like if we ever need like extra power, we just let Ryuga Gotoku just do the Matrix on us.
I would be extremely opposed to anybody Matrixing me until Ryuga Gotoku slides up to Summer Game Fest and they're like, our next game is real life. You've been mandatorily enrolled in it. And I'm like, this actually sounds kind of fine. I'm actually okay with that. Yeah.
Could be worse.
And then I think the final game I would really like to see implemented within the bounds of Yakuza would be, I would like an entire Phoenix Wright X Ichiban Kasuga crossover game. That makes a
lot of sense. That makes us so much sense.
I think it would be like so good.
Yeah, I mean that would be a blast.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah. Like half the game you're representing either yourself or an ally in court. And then out of that, you're like literally beating people up to get the evidence.
Yeah.
Like, to get to the evidence and collect the evidence you need.
Uh-huh.
That's funny.
Caleb, I told you that I spent a lot of time playing the business sim part of this game.
Mm-hmm.
You come across in the world a bakery that makes senbei, which is like rice crackers, named Ichiban Senbei. And naturally, they decide to make you the CEO.
Well, yeah, because your name is Ichiban, of course.
Your job is to try and make it the most profitable company in your district. And it is extremely fun, but I can't help but think, really, senbei? Just like a bakery? Couldn't we have found a type of business that would be a bit more engaging for a modern man such as myself who has no time for sweets? The food of children.
I'm a grown-ass man. I don't eat sugar anymore. I only eat bran.
I eat kind of like a protein paste. And I just kind of lather my body with it and lick it off. And that gives me the energy I need for my day.
Yeah, I mean, name a business, brother. Internet cafe.
Internet cafe. Let's go bigger, Caleb. How about you run BP? You just start out with like a little tiny gas station.
And then eventually you're like fracking the oil from the Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe you can be like the good version of BP.
Ichiban beats the shit out of the BP CEO and then goes, you know what we need to do, guys? We're putting all the oil back in the ground. And they go around collecting all the oil and pumping it back into the ground.
Like, literally, you send your guys out with vacuums to get it out of the atmosphere back into oil form to reverse the chemical change.
Like you're pulling people out of their cars, beating the shit out of them, and then siphoning the gas out of their vehicles to pump it back into the earth.
You could have it where, like, you're seeing visions of, like, a great fossil T-Rex god who's like,
yeah.
My body has been stolen from me, Ichiban. Bring it back.
Bring me back. Reconstitute me, Ichiban. It's our only hope.
My bod jelly. Return it to me.
Barnes & Noble. He just has to run a bookstore.
Barnes & Noble?
He's got to be on trend.
I think
that'd
be
the entire
good.
time. And if there isn't a trend for the book he wants to write, he fucking makes it a trend.
Bought out by like the big box bookstores. So you have to first get above Barnes & Noble level. But then you realize that all the Barnes & Nobles have been like blocked out by internet companies. Then you have to rise to that level and bring bookstores back.
Beat the shit out of Amazon from the inside.
And then you run Amazon.
Yeah.
You buy Amazon and you have to fix all of their like horrible sweatshops or whatever.
You're putting all the packages back in the warehouse.
Yeah. You have to go get everybody's Amazon merch back from them. I love this idea as the end of any Ichiban storyline is about reclaiming all the things from the world.
He works as a museum curator. Return those fucking artifacts to where they belong. No more museums.
It's actually, that would be such a fun minigame, is you run a horribly unethical museum and you just get to like fly out all the artifacts and put them in like the Indiana Jones temples where they once were hidden and reset all of the traps.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good.
Man, all that discussion made me thirsty.
You a little thirsty? You a little thirsty?
I'm a little thirsty.
You know, I don't know if you've tried the water in the executive suite yet, but it's got some other kind of flavor.
Let's go check it out. You told me that the water has a special flavor here. You didn't tell me that it's dispensed by a marble fountain in the middle of a lobby.
Yeah.
There's flecks of like gold leaf in my water here. Yeah, it's delicious. Is it bad for the koi fish to be eating all of this gold leaf all of the time?
Well, the koi fish are also gold, if you haven't noticed already.
That is true.
This is a bit more of an existential one. Just out of curiosity, do you think you'd prefer if life was turn-based? Like we experience things in real time. Yeah. Would it be better if every time we had to make a decision or like encountered something, we stopped and like had the chance to think about it? Like our life entered turn-based mode. No one could do the same thing at the same time.
I think that could be really useful in some circumstances.
It would certainly clear out a lot of court cases, you know what I mean? Like it would be like, I invented it first. No, I invented it first. Actually, my turn was...
We'll go to the combat log and figure out who hit who in the parking lot of Denny's at 3 a.m. last night. Yeah.
Crime solved.
I really like this because sometimes when I am walking down the hallway and somebody else is walking my direction, we both go to the left and then we both go to the right.
It's the consequence of a real-time...
Yeah. Turn-based mode, one person moves and the other can't do it simultaneously. Also, a lot of arguments come about just by one person not feeling like they can finish their thought before being interrupted. I would like it to be kind of Larry in Studio style, where I can toggle turn-based mode. Because there are some situations where I think it could become tedious.
Well, I think when you're walking around in the overworld, it's not really at play. But as soon as you enter into a situation, really any situation, it flips to turn-based mode.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
But just imagine how nice that would be if, like, someone goes, "Ha, yeah, you're a dumb little stupid boy," and then it goes, dun, 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 and you have all the time you want to think of a pithy comeback.
That's so true.
Okay, not very many negative reviews on this one.
Unsurprising.
Enough that I definitely got a sense of what this game was, and the people who left these reviews didn't get a sense of what this was. Okay, this is more like an animated movie than a game. I keep waiting for the intro to be over, but I think the whole game is going to play like this.
Yeah.
This person played half an hour of the game.
They played a narrative turn-based RPG and then were really confused when there was narrative in the narrative game.
Yeah.
And it sucks because the beginning is some of the best cutscenes and story content in the whole game. Literally, the first thing you do in the game is you take down a bootleg porn dealer who's, like, selling kids fake porn. Are you not entertained? Like,
yeah, that's
it's crazy.
Yeah, like, what? This is for the people who can't sit still or not have any stimulus.
Yeah,
for longer than like 30 seconds.
I think this person would have liked it if. Have you ever seen videos of people harmonizing the news to like jazz chords? It could be like that.
Yes, I love that shit. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Okay, your Yakuza game is now a rhythm game. Every cutscene is a rhythm game.
And you have to press X directly in line with all of the dialogue being spoken, and it will play jazz chords along with it. You're not bored anymore.
Nope, you're not bored anymore. You love it. You love it now. Okay, next one. When does the game start? I've put in over 6 hours, and it's still like 20 minutes of cutscene to 1 minute of gameplay. If you're new to the series like me and saw that one of the top reviews compares this to Skyrim, it is not like Skyrim.
It is deeply unlike Skyrim.
It's not like Skyrim. Yeah.
I prefer it to Skyrim, but it really is like, listen, Plorm, hear me.
Plorm.
If you're gonna like be shotgunning the main quest, it is more TV show adjacent. You will get extremely long series of cutscenes. So I think to make it more like Skyrim, we should make sure that those cutscenes are written extremely poorly.
Yes. Instead of like entering into cutscenes, you're just like everyone on the map is doing the dialogue from their cutscene, and you just kind of walk up to them and they kind of
exactly.
And that's another thing, Ichiban. You have to
Yeah, exactly.
Just like you walk away from them. Yeah.
You'll never catch two NPCs talking to each other Skyrim style. That would be funny. But the one thing that you can do to every NPC at all times, you can't kill them, you can't fight them, you can bump into them. So imagine Skyrim, but instead of like NPCs interacting with each other, it's just a bump fest. You just get to go and elbow everybody around. This is better than Skyrim. Skyrim could never. They don't have the engine.
They couldn't do it.
They don't have the technology for this type of thing. Listen, bud, count your blessings. You were served tiramisu, and you said, "Where's my $2 slice of birthday cake?"
Yeah. This one's really gonna get you, Dwight. This one's gonna make you mad. The main character is a naive idiot whose only shown emotion is anger and confusion, which actually puts him a leg up from the rest of the cast whose monotone voices put me to sleep.
Yeah, I'm throwing hands.
Yeah.
Do you have the IP address of the person who wrote this? I'm just asking, do you know if he's a Norm VPN user?
A Norm VPN? Plorm VPN?
Plorm VPN. I'm going to be receptive, and I'm going to say that we need to make Ichiban less naive, less stupid, and show less anger.
Uh-huh.
He needs to be extremely smart and extremely calm.
Yeah, he just carries around an encyclopedia with him and like defines words.
They want an erudite scholar at the helm of this game. They want Ichiban with glasses.
Dark academia protagonist.
We need to like pluck somebody out of Jane Austen and put him into this game. Just have some fragile little Victorian boy reading over some dusty tome. That's what you want. We'll give it to you, I guess.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's actually a review from a Japanese person, as far as I can tell. They wrote the review in Japanese, and I Google translated it. If you are Japanese or foreign who admire Japanese culture, do not buy game. Why? Sega is let down Japanese gamers with Yakuza 7. Main character Ichiban Kasuga is not Japanese. His face look like he is from Middle East. Where is Japanese facial characteristic?
So
Ignoring the overt racism.
No, this is important. Did Sega let Japan down with this one? Was this an L for all of Japan?
You were talking about Ichiban going to Dubai. He's from there, my brother.
He's from Dubai. He's in his parents own all of the oil, and that's why he needs to get the oil back into the ground. Let's make every culture proud by allowing you to input any country as your location for Yakuza. And it will reskin Ijincho, the district of Tokyo, to look like the Netherlands. Everybody will speak in Dutch. They'll be wearing clogs or whatever. It's going to be like freaking tulips around.
The localization is really thorough.
Yeah. It could be about the universal truths that bring us together as humanity, and that would be beautiful.
That would be a beautiful thing. Don't be racist, also.
That's important.
This person sucks. Okay, next one. After 1 hour, quit game and requested refund. Absolutely unplayable with keyboard and mouse.
Actually, that one's kind of valid because these games, I think, are like desperate to have you not play with keyboard and mouse. When the game opens, there's a splash screen with the outline of a gamepad with like a cool tattoo symbol behind it, and it says, "Real Yakuza use a gamepad."
Whoa, so
you can play with keyboard and mouse. They are like staunchly against you KBMing this bitch.
They clearly are like going after the like coolness jugular. They're like, you're not fucking Ichiban if you don't play on controller.
We can't remove keyboard and mouse. That'd be too drastic. But you also can't be Ichiban on keyboard and mouse. So we're going to have you be like Mike Wazowski or some shit.
You're literally like a Pixar character.
It feels wrong. You don't feel cool.
None of this feels right. Okay, so problem solved.
Yeah.
All right, this one's easy. It is not what I expected. It's like RPG. Terrible.
These are so funny.
Like, we get these every single episode as someone who's like, I can't believe this platformer is a platformer. Fuck you for making this.
You save yourself a lot of pain by like reading the short blurb of a Steam page before spending $60 to buy the game.
Before you play any video game, you now have a mandatory media literacy course that you have to take before you make any purchases on any digital platforms for any reason whatsoever.
I really think that's the way forward.
$2 billion via the Department of Education to make media literacy. And I'm not even joking. That's a real thing. A genuinely compelling story laboring under the delusion that 50 minigames in a trench coat counts as engaging gameplay.
Oh,
I don't want to know this person in real life.
I think a fair review of this game is like, the story isn't necessarily the most inspired thing of all time. But
it's 50 minigames in a trench coat, and I want to get up all in that trench coat.
50 anythings in a trench coat is going to cast an imposing shadow.
Right?
Let's not forget that the 50 minigames within this trench coat, each of those is like 3 games in a trench coat itself. The trench coats, they go deep. Every trench coat has a trench coat beneath it. You're acting as if this is some dismissible figure who's just walked into your tavern. Just 50 minigames in a trench coat. You better respect it what it's due.
Yeah. Okay, solution. We make a minigame in the next Yakuza game about beating up people who left bad reviews on previous Yakuza titles.
We should just put UFO 50 into it, and then it's 50 games in a trench coat in a trench coat.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there are still haters in the world, or else there would be no more asses left worth kicking.
Put that on a fucking t-shirt, brother.
Caleb, I'd like to treat you to a final fix.
Oh, it's about that time, isn't it? Whew, it's about that time.
The Business Simulator has been an unbelievable delight to play through. And I can't help but just thirst desperately. I cannot help but desire strongly more simulation content featuring my good friend Ichiban Kasuga.
So the bumping mechanic wasn't enough for you. That's like a runner-up for number one?
The bumping mechanic is runner-up. It's so good. I will sometimes just find a random person and dash around them in circles, seeing how many times I can bump them. Just watching them go, We need Ichiban Kasuga to go through a political climb up the ladder simulator.
Oh, he runs for office?
So you start out in city council, you continue to make your way through elections, you continue to legislate, and Ichiban Kasuga, he's not a dumb guy, and he has a big heart, and he cares about justice, and you get to just fix Japan.
So it's genuinely like paperwork simulator, like essentially sign paperwork and like listen to constituents and like read emails of complaints and like go fix them.
That would be a part of it. But I imagine a lot of it would also be running for office. So it would probably come in waves.
Right.
You're appointing your people who run stuff for you. You're doing the press conferences. But then you're also, you're filming campaign ads. You're paying for, consultants to come in and run polls for you. And you're picking what are going to be like your main points that you're running on and how you're going to strategize against your political opponents.
Is that stuff that they like? Are these all things that they do in Japan?
I don't know, because you know what the truth is. I lied. It's not in Japan. It's in America. Ichiban Kasuga becomes the president of the United States.
Of the United States!
Finally!
Oh my god. That is what we need right now. Holy shit.
What if you woke up tomorrow, AP News, front story, psych, Ichiban's president now.
Random Japanese guy brings his buddies over from Japan, beats the shit out of current president. That is the power fantasy that I would like to be living in right now.
It's a compelling power fantasy, but there's also a lot of fun crunchiness to the political system.
Oh, totally.
And that's what makes the business minigame so engaging, is just like all of like the numbers and stats and level ups and assigning, and like, this is my called shot. Next Yakuza game is going to have a political simulator.
Yakuza like a politician, yeah.
Yeah, Ichiban runs for governor or whatever.
That would be so sick.
It would be so fun.
I'm a little surprised that a video game hasn't been made about Vermin Supreme. Recruiting a bunch of diplomats to your crew and being like, hey, all that shit that you were talking about, we can do it. Like, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, we're writing it into law. Come join me on this crazy political adventure. We're going to be the only honest politicians.
Yeah. The rent is too damn high.
We're rent is too damn high. It's now $0. We'll figure it out.
We're like 2012 posting right now. Anyways, that's my final fix, Caleb.
Wow.
Fixco is going to be so glad
with that
we have polished this game up so nicely that they're not even going to punish us when they find out that we've been Bong Joon-ho Parasite living in the executive suites.
I've been waiting for them to look under their desks and notice us huddled under there between the hours of 9 to 5, but they never look under there.
I've been expecting somebody to see me when I sneakily hide behind the water cooler and you can see my face all wide behind it. Or when I try to hide behind one of the fake ferns. And I put up my hands they're tree branches. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if they're brainwashed or just really unobservant.
Have you noticed they all look identical, and every day that the human clone printer seems to just create new executives?
You know, I haven't noticed that. I have been wondering why they all look exactly the same and never seem to have any memory of what happened the day before.
And why they all seem to be bumping into each other all the time. Ichiban style.
Ooh.
All right, well, we're gonna look into this whole homunculus scandal, but in the meantime,
please, Plorm, if you wouldn't mind, share this with a friend. Spread the word. If you're a Yakuza fan, if you're not a Yakuza fan, doesn't matter.
If you're not a Yakuza fan, Plorm, write a really ignorant comment on Steam and post your IP address, and I'm gonna come kick your ass.
Give us ratings on your podcast app of choice. And wishlist Dwight's game Hello Again that he has been working on for many years now and is on Steam. Wishlist it. Wishlist it now. It's really good.
It's actually a real game.
It's all about time looping and animals. So it's kind of like Yakuza.
It's nothing like Yakuza, but I'm like Ichiban, so wishlist my game.
Thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate all of your time, Plorm.
Plorm, you're the best.
Can't wait to see you for the next one.
Hey, Ryuga Gotoku.
Ooh, he fixed your game.